Hello everyone, my name is Emily, and today I'm going to be reading you guys or giving you guys the real stories behind Disney movies. So by that I mean, okay, well look at it this way. Disney would obviously not produce um, original stories because for one, they're too dark, and two, there are kids watching Disney, so why would they want to show kids that? But anyway, I'm gonna give you guys 9 brief little things for how the real story goes. So number one on the list is Tangled. So in the movie, Rapunzel lives in a tower with controlling Mother Gothel. The charming fugitive Flynn Rider helps her escape and explore the kingdom around. While Rapunzel falls in love with Flynn, despite learning his real name is Eugene, she also learns she is actually a princess, which is crazy. Um, they both get rid of Mother Gothel, and the two live happily ever after. However, the real story goes, one day a prince climbs into Rapunzel's tower and falls in love with her. Again. And when Dame Gothel finds out, she lures the prince to the tower by cutting off Rapunzel's hair, which is rude, and dingling it out the window. This is also Rapunzel and the prince's quote unquote not so subtle signal. Like the bat signal, sort of, but like even less subtle. When the prince is confronted by Dame Gothel and not Rapunzel, he jumps from the tower, probably scared for his life, and lands on the thorns below, and is immediately blinded, which would suck. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't break your fall with your eyes. Number 2, Snow White. In the movie, Snow White, the princess Snow White, is driven out of her home by her jealous stepmother, the evil queen. She takes refuge in the forest with 7 friendly dwarves. I can't even remember the names, I only remember Dopey. Anyway, when the evil queen finds out that her stepdaughter is still alive, she disguises herself as an evil old witch and persuades, sorry, I can't talk today, Snow White to eat a poisoned apple. Snow White falls into a sleep from which she is awakened by a kiss from Prince Charming, which personally I think is creepy because she's just like getting kissed to wake up. Like, that's weird. But the real story goes, okay, let's talk. The biggest difference between the Disney movie and the original Brothers Grimm fairy tale is the evil queen's punishment, which is the one not the punishment that the evil queen gives Snow White, but the one that Snow White gives to the evil queen. When the evil queen arrives at Snow White and Prince Charming's wedding, Snow White punishes her stepmother by forcing her to wear hot iron shoes and dance around until she dies. Do you guys think that she made her dance to Cotton Eye Joe, or maybe even the Cha-Cha Slide? Next, Pocahontas. In the movie, Pocahontas is a Native American princess who falls in love with John Smith, a British colonist. Despite the rising tensions between her tribe and the colonists, she saves John's life before her father can execute him, and her heroic act brings her to peace between the opposing groups. Yeah. I like the song in the movie, Colors of the Wind. But this is how the real story goes. This is actually the only Disney princess story movie thingy based on real accounts. It is also the most distorted in wow kind of story. After John Smith returned to England, Pocahontas was kidnapped for a while, which after she was converted to Christianity and married John Rolfe. Years later, she visited London and was exhibited as an example of a quote-unquote civilized Native American. Before she could return home, she died of unknown causes. I'm actually pretty sure she died at the age of 21. But worst of all, though, there were absolutely no accounts of Pocahontas frolicking with an endearing raccoon or a talking tree. None. So up next is Mulan. So in the movie Mulan, She's Mulan is disguised as a man and enlists in place of her old father. With the help of her spiritual guardian, a miniature dragon named Mushu, she presents herself as a strong warrior. She returns home, having made her family proud and won the heart of her handsome general. She's also voiced by Donny Osmond. The real story, however, is a ballad called Hua Mulan. In the ballad, Mulan returns home happy and safe. However, in addition to the original ballad, Sui Ting, sorry if I totally murder this, I'm sorry, Sui Ting Yan Yi ends with Mulan returning home to find her family has fallen apart. Her only option is to become a concubine. She commits wow, I cannot talk. She commits suicide instead. I guess Mushu couldn't intervene and find her a better job than sex slave. Alright, so up next is The Little Mermaid. In the movie, a beautiful mermaid, Ariel, falls in love with a prince, whose name is Eric, who was actually a pretty hot Disney prince, just saying. She trades her voice for legs so she can court her love. Unfortunately, the nice legs, no voice combination totally works for Prince Eric, which is also kind of creepy. Ariel and Prince Eric get married and live happily ever after. However, the real story goes like this. In Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid, the bargain with Ursula is the same, except the detail that walking on her new feet is incredibly painful for Ariel, and the stipulation that Prince Eric must fall in love with Ariel or she will die. Despite all of the pain dancing Ariel does for his enjoyment, Prince Eric falls in love with and marries another girl. Ariel dies and dissolves into sea foam. Also, did I mention Ariel is only 15 years old? Alright, The Jungle Book! Yeah! A human boy, Mowgli, is raised by a pack of wolves in the movie. When his wolf mother learns that a man-eating tiger has returned to the jungle, she sends Mowgli to a human village to save his life. Although he is very reluctant to rejoin human society, he changes his mind when he sees and becomes instantly smitten with a human girl. However, the real story goes like this. Okay, sorry, I might murder this name. In Rudyard Kipling's version of short stories, The Jungle Book, Mowgli never adjusts to village life because he was raised by wolves. He's probably even sexually attracted to wolves, not human girls. Kipling doesn't explicitly say this, but we can assume. Also, Kipling wrote that Mowgli was 11 years old and naked when he fought a tiger. Yeah. Next up is The Princess and the Frog. So the Disney movie goes like this. A hard-working entrepreneurial waitress, Tatiana, gets turned into a frog when she tries to help Prince Naveen. The two travel through the bayou, searching for a solution before they fall in love, reverse the curse, and live happily ever after. So common. But the real story goes a bit like this. The Princess and the Frog is based on the book The Frog Princess, which is based on the fairy tale The Frog Prince. In the original story, a frog tells the princess he needs her to help to be turned back into a human. In disgust, she throws him against the wall. This, not a kiss, suffices to break the spell, and he is revealed to be a handsome and badly bruised prince. Honestly, I would have been like, if I was her who threw him against the wall, I would have been like, you still want that kiss? Alright, next up, the overly played movie, Frozen. So the movie goes a bit like this. Two orphan princesses, Anna and Elsa, grow up with a strained relationship because Elsa wants to protect Anna from her magical ice powers. Once Elsa accidentally reveals her powers, she runs away, sending the kingdom into an ice age while singing the catchiest song, and most annoying, known to mankind. To save the kingdom and their relationship, Anna retrieves Elsa and rekindles their bond. This is the real story. In The Snow Queen, the story that Frozen was based off of, the two protagonists, Gerda and Kai, are not sisters. They are childhood best friends who grow up next to each other. I'm also forced to assume that the foundation of their friendship was geographical convenience and also weird names. Kai is kidnapped by the Snow Queen after her kisses freeze him and erase his memory. Gerda goes on a long quest to rescue Kai and ultimately save him with a kiss, very traumatic kiss since the last kisses he received paralyzed and brainwashed him. Yeah. That one kind of confuses me a bit, but it's whatever. So lastly, we have Pinocchio. In the movie, Pinocchio is a wooden puppet who wants very badly to be a real boy. In his Nievette, sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong, but he makes a few poor decisions and learns a few important lessons. Ultimately, the Blue Fairy grants his wish and he becomes human. In the real story, it goes like this. The original Pinocchio is a menace whom Geppetto should have used as kindling. And Carlo Collodi's abuse, do the laws, by the way, do the laws of child abuse apply to puppets? And he murders a talking cricket. Jiminy Cricket! As Pinocchio continues his delinquency, the ghost of the cricket warns Pinocchio to reform his immoral ways. The wooden punk ignores him. Who could ignore the advice of an insect returned from the grave? Anyway, and continues to make Geppetto's life a living hell before he gets turned into a real boy anyway. Wow, that was just. Did I did I ruin your guys' childhood? I'm sorry. No, I'm not. But anyway, those were 9 real origins of Disney movies. And yeah, I kind of hope I ruined your childhood. But yeah. So that's about it, and I don't really have anything other to say than hold on, I'm gonna yawn. I hope you enjoyed.